Do you guys like my top? I made it myself. So thanks to this poll up here that you guys voted on, this is part 3 of my Medsmap review. So far we've done part 1 back in January where we took a look at the first 10 units in the Medsmap course, and last week we took a look at the final 6 units of the Medsmap base course. Today we're going to dive into the 3 extra units in the complete edition of the course, as well as the 3 extra units in the expansion pack that came out last month. Now, you guys, I am so glad that we're giving these units their own video, because these units, they're some big boys, some long boys, they're some thick boys. I don't know why I'm calling them boys. I don't know why I'm assuming their gender, but if you're not caught up with the series yet, definitely go watch part 1 and 2. I'll leave both the links up here in the cards above. Without those, this will make no sense whatsoever. And if by any chance I convince you to check out the course, then please do so with my affiliate link. I'll leave it in the description below, and that way you'll be supporting my channel directly. Now, last week I did 3 photo studies and an original painting, and oh my god, that drove me nearly to tears. So this week we're going to be slightly less crazy. We're going to do 1 photo study, and then we're going to go straight into the original painting for the week, but I will definitely go into details about all of the units. But yeah, if you guys enjoy this video and find it helpful, then please do remember to like, comment and subscribe. It helps me out so much. But without much further ado, let's take a look at Medsmap Part 3, the final boss. Okay, so I want to go chronologically today. So very first thing we're going to look at is the 3 units in the Complete Edition extras. Now these were launched in June of last year, and like I said, there are 3 extra units, but today I'm really only going to dive deep into one of them. It will make sense in just a second. So the very first Complete Edition unit, Stylized Study, is a fun take on a classic photo study. At the start of last week's video, we looked at alla prima, which is the process of going straight in with paint and putting down the big shapes and then simplifying. With this unit, however, he actually starts with a sketch, putting down the basic structure of the face first. So that's exactly what I'm going to do here. And just to push the stylization, I'm going to change up the proportions to make them a little bit closer to my aesthetic. However, the real changes come in with the color. Through this unit, Ahmed explains the process of just completely changing up the color scheme and creating something so far removed from the reference, it's not even necessarily recognizable. However, there are some really nice tips in there on how to still make the skin feel like skin, still have color harmony, and still create a painting that works. The second Complete Edition unit is actually called Gumroad Classics. As the name suggests, this is a compilation of some of his tutorials on Gumroad. I think this is a neat little extra because it covers a variety of topics that are outside of the scope of the rest of this course. I haven't been through them all, but best believe I'm going to, because there are 6 entire sets of extra tutorials in here. So you have character portraits, the tutorial, and 2 real-time painting videos. You have a lecture on focal points and the real-time process for that one. There is a mask and gold portrait, which is a paint-along tutorial, definitely trying that one out. There's a lecture on staging your characters, as well as the real-time painting for that one. There is a voice-over time-lapse of his tiefling sorceress painting, as well as the real-time version of that. And finally, there is a lecture on understanding composition and, you guessed it, a real-time version of that painting. So a whole bunch of topics that cover a wide range of skills, and again, more real-time processes that you guys can enjoy painting along to. And the final extra unit you get in the Complete Edition is a whole bunch of his other paintings in real time. So this is a series of real-time videos covering 6 extra paintings. The first is the real-time version of the Alla Prima study we saw in Unit 11, and then you have 2 videos for an elf portrait, 2 for a fairy painting, 2 for his painting called... Okay, I can't seem to find it anywhere, but it's called Gold Liquid on here. And then we have 3 exploratory videos. The first 2 are called Having Fun with Colors Parts 1 and 2, and then there is a Fantasy Heads challenge. None of these have voiceovers or anything, it is purely his real-time painting process, and while I personally don't watch many real-time paintings, no patience, classic Aries, I'm sure a lot of you guys like to look at every single detail and almost paint along, so this unit could definitely help you guys solidify a workflow with so much repetition. And now for what to me is the most exciting part of this course. We're gonna dive into the 3 extra units in the expansion pack. In July this year, so last month if you're watching this video when it first comes out, Ahmed announced that the Medsmap course was getting an expansion pack. This was a free set of 3 extra units that came with every purchase of the course, and if you had already purchased the course before this, it would get automatically added to your course page, which I think is just so lovely. Like, he could have gone down the route of charging extra, but he didn't. As it turns out, he formulated this entire expansion pack based on feedback from people who had taken the course and mentioned it in their Discord unofficial server, I believe. So I think that's just so thoughtful, and without much further ado, let's dive into this expansion pack. So let's take a look at the very first unit in the EP called Applying Color and Light. Based on community feedback, Ahmed mentions that a lot of people were confused about how to apply the lighting skills that we learned in Unit 15 of the base course. So for this unit, he actually walks you through taking those lighting eggs that we created in Unit 15 and actually using them to concept out some thumbnail variations. So here you'll see me do just that, using a rough sketch of the composition I have in mind for today's original painting. This is definitely one of those units that helps you get over a very common roadblock in the painting process, and that is going from a sketch to a rendered painting. So I don't know about you, but this is one I struggle with all the time, because it is one thing to have a nice sketch, maybe even put down some basic values, but when it comes to picking a color and lighting setup, my mind often just exits the chat. Doing this exercise, however, was a really nice way to experiment with variations really quickly and allowed me to get over that speed bump of where to go next. The tutorials here are definitely more of a paint along style, and you can even grab his own PSD and work on that if you don't want to do the setup work, but I needed to do this for the painting anyway, so that's what I showed you guys here. The next unit, and this one is my personal favorite of the entire course, is called Fantasy Character Painting. And in this process, Ahmed walks you through the entire process of coming up with an original character, right from the sketching and ideation, to doing a bunch of different concepts, and to doing a final illustration. First of all, this unit comes with a brand new brush pack, and this one has some amazing texture brushes. Now, this is a brush pack for Photoshop, and I'm showing you the trial process of it in Photoshop, but I did take the time to convert it to a brush pack for Critter, since that is what I paint on. Don't ask how long it took and how complex it was, but I still don't know if it's working quite right, but I'll update you guys later if I do get it working right. But there are brushes in here that add so much texture so quickly, and I could so easily overuse it. I'm not going to, but I could. But I won't. But I want to so bad. Okay, focus, Srish. I think this was the unit where I made the most notes I've ever made for this course, because although there are 8 videos, definitely not the most videos in a unit across this course, each one is so heavily packed with info, I didn't even crochet while watching this one. I was so hooked. Pun fully intended. There are a couple of things in this unit that I don't want to share because I feel like they are sacred and I've never seen them anywhere else, such as the blanket method of checking the silhouette or all the composition notes on driving focus and using fractals. However, there are a couple of really cool general tips that I'm excited to try. The first is to be flexible with the reference. So when you get the references at the start of your painting, you don't have to limit yourself to that first batch of references. You can always go and get more as the painting progresses. This is one of those things you think you already do, but then you look back at your painting process and realize, hey, I actually didn't gather as many references as I could have. And the other tip, and this one never even hit me, was to play music that is relevant to your scene. So if you're trying to create a fantasy character, play some fantasy ambient music. Why did I never think of this? It is so clever to immerse all of your senses into the mood. It's definitely going to help you create a solid ambience in every painting. I'm definitely going to try this one out. And also for the most profound quote in the entire unit, when in doubt, just look at your own hand. Honestly, if nothing else helps you, I'm telling you this unit is going to make the entire course worth purchasing. And the final unit is everyone's favorite word in this house. It's called style study. Okay, full disclosure, I severely underestimated this unit personally because style study is my jam. It's my comfort zone. It's what I live for. Oh my god, was I wrong? You see, the ego has such a way of keeping you feeling like you don't need to learn anymore and keeping you stuck within a comfort zone. But let me tell you, this unit blew the case wide open. For this unit, we dive deep into the work of Sergei Kolosov, who is an artist based in France and has some really striking graphic art. Through the unit, Ahmed breaks down various aspects of stylistic choice with a huge emphasis on the rendering. So while we do look at the stylized proportions and silhouettes, he actually encourages you to look into the microscopic elements in the rendering, such as the textures and tiny shapes, and conflate it with the macroscopic elements in the overall design. My biggest takeaway from this unit, however, were to 1. Not be afraid to exaggerate and almost caricaturize a face while exploring stylization, 2. Look within the texture for synchronicities of shape language, and 3. Explore styles that are very different to my own style in order to open up my mind a little bit. Obviously, I'm not doing a style study here today. You're still gonna watch me work on the fantasy character from the last 2 units, but best believe this is gonna create deeper, more meaningful style studies in the future. So while you watch me finish up this painting, here are my final thoughts on the entire course now that I've finished it. Well, apart from the Gumroad tutorials, but you can buy those separately, so I'm technically not going to count them as part of this course. First of all, the Medsmap course is a huge time commitment. I'm not saying that in the sense of, oh, it is going to drag on and be scary, but rather in the sense of it is going to have a massive impact on your process as an artist. Because while there are going to be some really big level ups in your painting skills, I've noticed that the course has inspired me to create more art that is based on my own personal life. I'm sure you've noticed that in the last couple of videos on this channel. So rather than just being a step-by-step sequence on how to draw faces, this felt more like a whole entire perspective shift that has brought me closer to my own art. It's like marriage counseling, but for you and your paintings. That's probably a dumb analogy, but it is how I feel, okay? And then, of course, there is a massive confidence boost where it feels like I now know a lot more about art, about rendering, and about concepting. Like, I now feel confident that I can paint pretty much whichever character I want to, and that my original concepts are going to be way more impactful than they used to be. But like I said in the very first video I did about Medsmap, my biggest takeaway from this course is that it feels like a license to play. There are so many cues through all 166 videos, not counting the Gumroad and real-time videos, that kind of put it into your subconscious that you are allowed to explore, to play with ideas, and be open to changing things around, mixing it all up, and to not take everything too seriously. This is something I struggle with, not just in art, but in life. I take everything way too seriously to a point where it gets in the way of really enjoying the important moments and milestones. And over the last 8 months, I've actually genuinely noticed myself stepping away from that and letting myself just exist as a person rather than a machine whose only purpose is to be productive. I've taken up new hobbies, I've started to indulge in the things that make me happy just because they make me happy, and I've been taking more breaks, giving myself some downtime, not just when I need it, but also when I want it. And obviously I'm not gonna sit here and say the course has fixed all of my issues, but it's definitely given me more than just art tutorials. It's given me a lot of mental clarity and almost a sense of relief when it comes to art, and for that I will be forever grateful. So there we go. Now, I'm not gonna say this is my very final video I'll ever do about Medsmap, because I will be covering any updates as they come in the future. You know, like this year we had an expansion pack come out in July. If there's such updates in the future, your girl will be totally on it, don't even worry. But for now, that's about all I have to say about the course. You guys have seen how many level up and aha moments I've had over the last 8 months of taking this course, and I just feel so grateful to be given this opportunity to not just take the course, but also be able to share it with you guys. I feel like we're in a cool little like study group. And yeah, again, if you've enjoyed this review and want to check the course out, I'd be so grateful if you could do so via my affiliate link in the description below, or just like this video, comment on it, and subscribe to the channel. That way this video can reach even more people and help more people out, and I would appreciate that so much. Subscribe for more artsy videos, because I promise you there'll be more tutorials out in the future. I know this was a review kind of month, but I promise there's more in store. And next week is going to be a really fun style study, so you don't want to miss that. Make sure you've got your notifications turned on as well. But yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say today, so thank you so much for hanging out with me. I hope you've enjoyed it as much as I have. Check out some more videos up here, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye!